wanted to share one of the guitars that I built. Why I haven't built another one, people would make requests that I would build a guitar for them. I never got around to it. This one is really in rough shape now. It's been through it. And I did all on the inlay. I hand carved the neck, the rasp and file. I did the designs. I think the thing that makes it really special is the near impossible to get wood that is Cambodian rosewood. My school had 2 sets left, and I bought this one of the 2. The other set didn't have any knots, but this set was a little bit glassier when you tapped on it. It was really beautiful tone to it. I like the stripe in it too. And this. And just, isn't that weird? It's really awesome. But and, you know, it has its flaws. But for somebody who's never built a guitar before, I've let many people borrow it, and it just always comes back worse. The first person I ever let borrow it, an old friend, she sat it on a book. I don't think we're gonna be able to see it out here. And you can kind of see those lines. Those are stanzas from sheet music. And being that the guitar was still fresh, nitrocellulose never fully cures, actually. But to get to a place where it's not, you know, impacted by just everything, takes a while. And she then took nail polish remover and tried to scrub out the lines, which eats lacquer because it has acetone in it. And then I went traveling, and a friend of mine loved this guitar. He thought I was just gonna give it to him. Just like he took my Vox AC30 and basically just gave it to his brothers because he didn't have any good amps, and I had my matchless at that time, so I let him. Thought he's gonna love playing this. No, I gave it away. I think he haven't betting it's for drug money. I wouldn't doubt it. And then you see all that is from him beating the crap out of it when we were busking. And then I let my father play around with it for a while. And I don't know what the hell he rubbed on it, but there's just white crap all over it. So I don't let anybody have it anymore because people just, every time I get it back, something else. And I need to re-glue the bridge, which I will do soon. do a custom fit with hide glue, and then custom, right? The whole thing's custom. Cambodian rosewood is really, really bright, and it complements this body style really well. And every inch, of this guitar has been customized by me. Extra thick headstock. I think if you can you hear it? The truss rod doesn't need any tension because the neck is so sturdy. It's got a lot of issues I need to fix. And what is all this white shit? This is one reason why I say don't use power tools. At the school, we weren't allowed to use anything but power tools to shape the tops. And power tools, they do is basically makes the ends of the grains and the fibers of the wood. Imagine a knife cutting a grain and it's perfectly straight. But power tools, it shreds them. Sandpaper shreds them too. And it just breaks off the ends, and it is terrible what it does. It dampens resonance. And it's great for aliphatic resin, but if you're gonna work with hide glue, you need to do a special way. There's a side crack, I guess. There's also a dip on the other side, I think. Another one. But this guitar went from Phoenix 45 relative to Nebraska and Colorado. It's just held up really quite well. You can see the dip there from bending the sides. I had to use one of those StewMac side bending machines that just leave no control. Looks like somebody grinded the edge here. Hey, it's just people are shit. It's just one little thing after another you find. Something else. Probably from playing it before the lacquer cured well. But it's a cool guitar, I think. I worked my butt off on it. Literal blood on it somewhere. I don't remember where I bled on it, but you can see the seams as they line up. And then the end piece. For somebody who's never built a guitar, I'm very proud of it. I put every bit of effort I could into this. I was the first one in the shop, last one out, and you know how long it takes. Oh, looks like we're getting another crack there. See how long it takes to to really buff a finish and make it flawless. We had a good teacher. He was ruthless. You know, you could see every hairline, and I got this baby glass smooth. It's a shame it didn't last. I mean, all that work I put into... Just like, where did that even come from? I wonder if it came from that. That could be it. Yeah, I bet that's it. I bet the case did it. It takes a long time for nitro to cure. You can't even get nitrocellulose anymore. But this is the cool part, I think. Cambodian rosewood. I have played my J45 on the street tons of times. Hundreds of times. I've never drawn a crowd. People will give me money, even though I don't play for money anymore. I have to tell them I don't accept money for busking. I just wanted to play. Sit on the street and play. And, gosh, it just has the coolest. I mean, look at that. This is so weird. And this guitar, I've played it out on the street one time, and it drew a crowd. I did custom. Well, at Roberto Venn, they give you specs. It's like somebody's been chipping away at it or something. What the fuck? I don't know what the hell. And so it drew a crowd. I mean, it's the craziest thing because it projects really well. And the way I designed the bracing, they would give us specs, and that's how we had to build these guitars and perimeters, but they would also teach you what different things do to affect tone. And so I engineered this guitar to sound a special way. And it came out pretty well. What the hell is that? Is that sharp? What is that? Looks like but it's a lot of work. I've been thinking about redoing the neck joint. Doing it with high glue. These are bolted on, actually. These are not dovetail neck joints for some reason. And there's actually a cavity. So around the outside, the way they make their guitars, their neck joints, is about like a 1/16 of wood to about that depth. Focus. And it's actually not seated flat. And they do that to make it simpler and easier for fitting for the average student. Not everybody who goes there is a brilliant craftsman. They're not. Their whole goal now, or at least when I was there, was to get people to build a guitar. Not necessarily train dedicated luthiers. They pledge that they can find you a job and all this other stuff. But I graduated top of my class. Though the flaws in my guitar dropped me to second. Sadly. There was nobody else like these. I mean, my instruments, I believe, stand for themselves. The guy who was ahead of me, sat next to me, was a good guy. But he definitely just followed the rules. That's all he did. I customized everything. I took it to what I thought a luthier should. Anyway, you can hear it. Great sustain. These are old strings too. They're all oxidized. That's why you can feel almost rusty. I've been practicing, so I'm a little sloppy. What lovely sustain. But it projects really well. This is not a player-friendly guitar. You barely feel the wood resonating. Definitely not a blues guitar. It's very mid to upper, but relatively full spectrum of resonance. It's not terrible. It's not my sort of guitar, but it's got its issues. That's not perfect, you know. And but the neck came out really lovely. It is so smooth and just full. It's almost like a 59 up here, but more a little bit wider, and not quite like a 58 Les Paul neck. And then it carries that depth all the way down, but it expands on that width. It's very, very comfortable. It's for finger picking. actions. Definitely not where I would like it. I don't think I will be. It could do with a neck reset. The thing about these is, since you don't glue, there's no glue in here, if I remember right. The only thing that's glued is this. So, all you gotta do is remove that, unbolt it, and it just comes off. A neck reset would take no amount of effort. You don't have to remove any frets. You don't need fancy equipment other than a heater. A way to heat that. But I just wanted to share this. Let's see. One of my first nuts. Took me a while to get really good at making a nut, and I have a hard time wanting to make a new nut for it. So I made a spacer and it worked fine somehow. A lot of my guitars in my old place, the maintenance crews and other people would come into my apartment when I was gone, and they would mess with my instruments and stuff. Because I wouldn't play my guitars, and trust me, I know how to set up a guitar. So I come back, I'd play it, and then all of the nuts just magically go bad, and the frets would have dents in them and things. But I always like that. It's this weird little bug alien thing. I cannot engrave. That is one thing I cannot do. Just look at the engraving. It's terrible. But inlay's fun. It's a good time. It almost looks painted. That might be ink on the bead. I don't remember if I fit those. But it is a ebony plate or cap. There's your wood. So why don't I build another guitar? I was gonna build a clone of my J45 and do some modding with it. I wanted to do a herringbone and make like a D28 HD28 styled hybrid inspired by my J45, but I still haven't gotten around to build it. I need to get another flaw. I like flaws. Just things are perfect. I get bored. How long it took me to do this inlay. If I remember right, each one of these teardrops took about an hour. Took forever. Especially the little ones. Anyway, 25 minutes is long enough to talk about myself, isn't it? Like anybody watches these videos anyway. I think those are gold. Those are gold mother of pearl, I think. And then I switched to the white.